Hi everybody, it's Lacey. I'm here today to answer a few frequently asked questions I received on my last video about my experience working as an au pair in France. If you have not seen that video already, I would go ahead and watch it because that video I go into a little bit more depth of each question and I really talk about my whole experience and all the little details. So I would go ahead and watch that if you haven't seen it already, but if you have, here I'm just going to answer a few questions that I received in the comments, and these were pretty much the most popular questions I received, so I just went ahead and picked 6 of them. Here's the first question: how old was I when I was an au pair? So I was 19. What happened was I graduated high school at age 18. I really wasn't feeling the whole going to college right away thing. Something just didn't feel right, but I kind of came to the conclusion where I was like, well, if everybody's going to college right away, guess I should just do the same thing. So I kind of waited too late, and then I ended up enrolling in a local college, and I thought, okay, I'll go to this college, live with my parents, then I'll transfer somewhere. I was miserable the first semester at that college. I did not like it. I was so over school. I was not motivated. I was an artistic person, and I was like, what am I doing here? It just was not a good experience for me. So that's when I had the idea, why not do something different? I used to babysit all the time. I would get paid to babysit on the side every now and then. So I thought, why don't I go babysit, get paid for it, do it in another country? I had not been to another country before, so I figured that would be the best idea. So I was 19. I believe that was the perfect age for me to do it. I felt mature enough to be on my own, but I was still young, and it was a great time. I was still growing, and I mean, I still am, but that was an awesome time. The next question is, how did I get my parents to agree? Well, luckily my parents are very supportive. They support most of my ideas and things that I want to do. So when I told them this idea, they were on board with me. The main thing is just that they wanted to make sure it was going to be a safe family in a good situation and a legit situation. So what we did is I actually set up a Skype conversation with the host family and my parents so that they could get to know each other a little bit. They could see where I would be living and see my bedroom and see everything, so we made sure it was 100% good to go. So I think that definitely kind of helped them feel more comfortable with the whole thing. The next question is, did I get lonely and how did I make friends? So I wouldn't really say I got lonely. I am the kind of person that does enjoy being alone sometimes. I don't necessarily need a bunch of friends around me to feel good. I do like peace and quiet, and I'm able to entertain myself pretty well, so I wouldn't really say I got lonely, but I did miss those times of, on a Friday night or whenever I wanted some girlfriends to talk to. I did miss that. But luckily, about 6 months into my experience, I did meet some other au pairs that were doing the same thing as me. So I believe that you are required to take a language course in the country that you're visiting. So since I was in France, I was required to take a French course. So I went to this place, So I went to this place to take my French class, and I ended up running into a couple of other au pairs that lived in the area that were doing the same thing. So we became friends, and it was awesome because we were all kind of on the same schedule. We would wake up, take the kids to school, we were free during the day, we would hang out, maybe have lunch, and then at night, we would put the kids to bed. So we were all kind of in it together, and we all missed our families back home, and we all had our own lives and our own stories, and I still keep in touch with those girls today. One of them actually visited me last year in the US, and another one is coming in December, so I cannot wait. I just need to go out and visit them. That's on my list of things to do. The next question is, how much money did I get paid? So I made 80 euros a week. I believe that is the minimum. I don't know about families paying more. Definitely don't take less than that, I would say. But it's all kind of, I guess negotiable with your family. There's families that are willing to pay different amounts, but they might have more kids, or, it's kind of depends on each situation. But I would not take less than 80 euros a week. I would say It was, kind of hard at times. I mean, I was able to overall do things that I wanted to do. I could take a train to Amsterdam, I could take the train to Paris whenever I wanted, I could do a little shopping here and there, but I definitely couldn't go overboard or, go crazy or anything like that. But it did teach me actually a lot about money and saving and having to watch my money and, live below my means, I guess you could say. So that was a good learning experience. The next question is, did I pay for my flight? So the agreement between my host family and me was that my side would pay for the flight, so my parents did end up helping pay for the flight. I know there are host families out there that are willing to pay for the au pair's flight, so if paying for the flight is something you don't want to do or that you're not able to do, just know there are families out there that are willing to pay for your flight. You will just have to work that out specifically, I guess, with certain families. There's probably some out there that are like, no, they're not going to do it. But there are some that will. I did have a British friend whose family paid for her flight. So it just kind of depends, I guess. The last question is, did I go through an au pair agency? I personally did not go through an agency to find my job. There are au pair agencies out there that will set you up with a certain family. And hey, I think that's a good idea. They're experts at what they do. I'm sure they could really match you up with a good fit. So if that's something you'd like to do to feel maybe a little bit more comfortable, I would say go for it. But, I'm pretty good with finding stuff on the internet, knowing what's real and what's not real. I talked about in my last video, I found a family that I was interested in originally, but it was a scam. So you do have to watch out for those, but I was communicating with my family back and forth, and then we took it to email, and then we took it to Skype, and once I talked to them on Skype and I saw the kids on Skype, I was like, there's no way this isn't real. So I personally did it on my own. I used a website called findaupair.com. It's kind of like a social networking site where I create a profile, the families create a profile, and you're able to favorite different families and like different families and add them as a friend, sort of like Facebook. So that is how I did it personally. Feel free to ask me any other questions in the comments if you have any more that I did not address in this video. I'm so glad that so many of you are interested in becoming an au pair. It really is the best experience. I still wonder to this day what I would be doing if I hadn't done that, because that really helped me get all my thoughts in order. Once I was taken away from my life and everything I had known, all that was left was me and who I was as a person, and it was a really good time where I was able to get to know myself. And I feel like right now I 100% know who I am. I feel a lot more confident now. I know what I want, and it was an awesome experience. I would recommend it to anybody who is looking for an experience like that and who's open to new things. You definitely have to be open to trying something new, because it was a totally different life than I was used to. But it was awesome. So I would totally recommend being an au pair. Like I said, let me know if you have any other questions. Thank you. Bye.